All right. The offseason deep dives continue. DallasCowboys.com just dropped a pick six on our new star wide receiver. Getting to know George Pickens? Is he the focused, big play threat we traded for? Or is there more to the story? You know, Bipolar Blue is here to read between the lines and overanalyze every single detail. Let's get to know GP. Before I get to know our new weapon, if you're as hyped and a little nervous about George Pickens as I am, if you believe he's the missing piece, smash that like button. Let me know you're with me. And if you haven't, subscribe and ring the bell. We're tracking this all offseason. Okay, here we go. The pick six on George Pickens. 1. Pickens was a composite five-star prospect out of Hoover, Alabama, in the 2019 recruiting class. After initially committing to Auburn, he flipped to Georgia on National Signing Day and would go on to play for the Bulldogs in all 3 seasons of his collegiate career. Bipolar Blue hype. Let's start at the beginning. George Pickens wasn't just good coming out of high school. He was a 5-star prospect, the best of the best. A dude so talented that Auburn thought they had him locked down. And then on National Signing Day, he flips to Georgia. That's big-time SEC power moves. That tells you he's not afraid of the big stage or making bold decisions to bet on himself. He went to the SEC and played for 3 seasons, battling against the best. That's the pedigree we traded for. Not some project, a 5-star stud from the jump. Bipolar Blue crash. Okay, 5-star prospect. From 2019. That was a long time ago. High school rankings don't mean anything in the NFL. And flipping your commitment? Some might see that as drama from the get-go. The talent has always been there, but the journey has had its twists and turns since day one. Let's hope his pro journey is more stable than his college commitment. 2. Pickens' brother, Chris Humes, was a star defensive back at Arkansas State and later spent a training camp and preseason with the Raiders. Bipolar Blue hype. It runs in the family. Football is in his blood. His brother, Chris Humes, was a star defensive back at Arkansas State. He even got a shot in the NFL, spending time with the Raiders. That means George grew up around high-level football. He knows the grind, he knows the dedication it takes to even get a look at the pro level. That's a competitive household right there. You know they were going at it in the backyard. That's where you build that dog mentality. Bipolar Blue crash. His brother was a star at Arkansas State and spent a training camp and preseason with the Raiders. Okay, not exactly the Manning brothers here. It's cool that football runs in the family, but his brother's cup of coffee in the NFL has absolutely zero impact on whether George Pickens runs a crisp route or gets separation on a Sunday. It's a nice piece of trivia, nothing more. 3. Heading into his junior season, Pickens suffered a torn ACL in spring practice, a brutal blow for Georgia's offense and Pickens' NFL outlook. He'd end up returning later on in the season and stamped himself as a top player in the upcoming draft with a 52-yard diving catch in the 2021 National Championship game against Alabama, which Georgia won 33-18. Bipolar Blue. Hype. Georgia toughness. This is where you find out who a player really is. He suffers a torn ACL in spring practice, a brutal blow. His NFL outlook is in question. And what does he do? He returns later that same season and stamps himself as a top player with a 52-yard diving catch in the national championship game against Alabama to help Georgia win it all. That's not just talent. That's grit. That's heart. That's a champion's mentality. He doesn't shrink from the big moment. He rises to it even after a devastating injury. This proves he's built for the pressure. Bipolar Blue. Crash. That was a heroic comeback, no doubt. But it also highlights a significant injury history with his knee. We need him to stay on the field for 17-plus games for us, not just have one incredible moment. The toughness is undeniable, but durability is still a question mark we have to consider. 4th, In his rookie season with the Steelers, Pickens made a one-handed catch against the Browns that had some NFL pundits comparing it to Odell Beckham's catch against the Cowboys in 2014. Bipolar Blue. Hype. The flash. The highlights. In his rookie season, he's already making one-handed catches so ridiculous that pundits are comparing it to the legendary Odell Beckham catch? The one that broke the internet? That's the kind of talent we just traded for. He doesn't just make plays, he makes unforgettable plays. He's a walking highlight reel. This is the explosive, jaw-dropping receiver we've been missing. He's going to put on a show at AT&T Stadium. Bipolar Blue crash. Okay, one amazing catch is great. It's fantastic for SportsCenter. But what about all the other catches? The routine ones on third down? Can he consistently be that reliable target, or is he just a home run hitter? I'll take the spectacular, but I also need the steady. We need a complete receiver, not just a highlight machine. 5. In 2023, Pickens led the entire NFL in average per catch at 18.1 yards. One of the games that catapulted him to that lofty average occurred against the Bengals. Pickens not only hauled in an 86-yard touchdown pass, the longest reception from scrimmage by any NFL player that year, but also had a 66-yarder in the same game. Pickens is one of just 13 players in NFL history to record multiple touchdowns of 65 yards or more in the same game. Bipolar Blue hype. Big play Pickens. In 2023, he led the entire NFL in average per catch at 18.1 yards. This isn't just flash. This is consistent, game-breaking explosiveness. He had an 86-yard touchdown, the longest reception from scrimmage by any player that year. And he added a 66-yarder in the same game. He's one of only 13 players in NFL history to do that. This is the deep threat we've been begging for. He takes the top off defenses. This is what opens up the entire field for CeeDee and everyone else. We didn't just get a good receiver. We got one of the most explosive big play threats in the entire league. Bipolar Blue crash. Leading the league in yards per catch is awesome. It's exciting. But does it also mean he's not getting the volume of targets on shorter, chain-moving routes? Is he just a deep ball specialist? We need a complete receiver, not just a guy who runs go routes. That stat is amazing, but it doesn't tell the whole story of his route tree or reliability on crucial third downs. 6th. After a brief stint with number 13, Pickens is now settled into the jersey of number 3 after a switch with defensive end. Dante Fowler Jr. Pickens attended nearly every one of the voluntary OTAs and all of the minicamp, alongside CeeDee Lamb. Pickens and Lamb are looking to become just the 4th wide receiver duo in Cowboys history to have 1,000-yard seasons in the same year. Only Amari Cooper, Josh Michael Gallup, 2019, Terry Glenn, Terrell Owens, 2006, and Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, 1979, have accomplished that feat. Bipolar Blue hype. He's settled into number 3. He attended nearly every voluntary OTA and all of minicamp. He is all in. And he and CeeDee are looking to become just the 4th wide receiver duo in Cowboys history to have 1,000-yard seasons in the same year. That's legendary company. Cooper, Gallup, T.O. Glenn, Hill, Pearson. That's the standard. That's the goal. He's not here to mess around. He's here to make history. The buy-in is there, the potential is there, the historical precedent is there. Let's go. Bipolar Blue. Crash. Okay, becoming the 4th duo is a great goal. But those other duos didn't exactly lead to Super Bowls, did they? T.O./Glenn was a circus. Cooper/Gallup was one good year before injuries. It's a great regular season stat, but does it translate to playoff success? And attending OTAs is the bare minimum expectation for a guy trying to learn a new offense and prove his maturity. That's not extra credit. That's just doing your job. So there you have it. The profile of George Pickens, a tough, passionate, big play dog owner with a simple nickname and pre-existing chemistry with our best player. My final Bipolar Blue prediction based on getting to know GP? He is exactly the kind of volatile, high-upside, supremely talented playmaker this team desperately needs. The potential for drama is there, yes, but the potential for game-breaking plays is even greater. He is going to be a perfect fit and will have a massive year, because this offense will finally let him be the explosive weapon he is. Mark my words. That's the Bipolar Blue take. Are you more or less hyped after getting to know GP? Let me know below. Bipolar Blue, ready for the show. Out!